Hi, I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Botker, AccuQuilt's creativity expert.
The Go Pinpoint Wall Hanging is a fast, easy, and super fun project, perfect for spring or a beach theme. For this project, you'll need the Go Palm 8-inch finished die, a 6x24 cutting mat, the Go Strip Cutter 3.5 3-inch finished, and a 10x24 cutting mat.
All right, let's cut out those palm shapes. Now we want to start by putting the white fabric at this end over shapes A, C, E, and G.
Perfect.
Then we'll need our dark and light purple up here at this end over B, D, and F. Now we could cut up to 6 layers. We're just going to cut 2 because we're just going to be making 1 block right now. Now these shapes are directional, so the light color will be facing up and the dark layer will be facing down, unless you're using solids like we are today.
Since this die is on a 6x24 die board, it will fit through all of our cutters, including the Go Me. Make sure you use a 6x24 cutting mat.
All right, so let me go ahead and get those cut. All right, Miss Pam, here we go.
Great. I'm going to slide that mat so our pieces don't stick.
Perfect.
And actually, Erica, I discovered that it's really easier to leave your fabric on the die board so you keep track of your shapes.
That is a great tip.
All right, Miss Erica, let's move our half block over here.
Okay.
And now we can build the opposite.
That's right. So we're going to be starting with shape A up at the corner. Now we're going to be going down, and again, we're going to be doing the other side of this block, so we're using the lighter purple.
Right. And you want to make sure you lay your pieces correctly. And look, we have those dog-eared corners, so it's going to line up together perfectly.
Perfectly.
All right, so I'm going to sew these 2 pieces together.
Okay.
Now, Erica, this is a great chain piecing block. So normally I would have done all of these 2 shapes together.
Okay. That
Trim
makes
my
sense.
threads, and let's move this a little bit so we can lay our ironing board down.
Okay, great.
All right, Miss Erica, can you press these seams open?
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to continue, and now we're going to add shape C to the bottom of the AB unit.
Perfect. All right.
Now we're going to continue with the alphabet and lay our piece down just like this.
Okay.
And again, we're just going to continue sewing. So now we're going to sew our shape E. And a good way for me to remember this, Erica, when I was putting it together, is that all of the white flat sides go to the outside and all of the colored flat sides go to the inside.
That is a great tip. All right, and we're ready for our last piece on the end.
We know it goes this direction because it's going to lay flat on the outside.
And the dog ears are going to match up perfectly.
And look how easy it was to cut and sew those pieces together.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And again, a really great chain piecing project.
Absolutely, especially you could just keep going with your different blocks, your different colors. It would go so quickly. All right, so now we're ready to put the 2 sides together.
Excellent. So I'm going to come here, Erica, and I am actually going to pin just for you, but I want to make sure that when we're pinning these together, we can see how they line up.
Right.
Because you want to make sure you get those really good points there.
Absolutely.
And I just found that pinning was easier. And it's not going to take very many.
Nope.
But just enough to make sure that our pieces are lining up.
That's a fantastic idea. And there we go. Look how simple and easy this is to finish. Now you're going to need a total of 16 palm blocks for the Go Pinpoint wall hanging.
To complete this pattern, follow the instructions to make the border. Once the quilt top is complete, layer the top, batting, and backing, pin or baste, then quilt as desired. Use your favorite binding method to complete your wall hanging.
Now be sure you share your finished projects with us on all our social media platforms, because at AccuQuilt, we are here to help you cut time
So you can quilt more.